Hi Year 6 and welcome to our very last spelling lesson of the year. Thank you for tuning in and thank you to all of you who have been tuning in every single week. You've really worked incredibly hard. We've seen that from all of the emails sent in with your amazing work, so well done. Going to start off today by showing you the final leaderboard for the past week. We have got in first place 6H, again, well done 6H. Second place 6M, still. We have got third place 6R who have overtaken 6G this week, so well done 6R. And on the individual leaderboard we've got Jaden H still at the top of the leaderboard. He's been working incredibly hard on his spellings, well done Jaden. We've got Lily still in second place, she's still been working hard on keeping her position. And in third place we've got a new person, we've got Gracie up there in third place this week, so well done to Gracie. I think I'm going to make sure Jaden gets a certificate for retaining the first place at the leaderboard, at the top of the leaderboard for his spelling shed work. So I'll make sure a certificate comes to you, Jaden. I nearly forgot to share this week's Kahoot leaderboard with you. So I did actually this week have to take off some silly nicknames, but we have got the top 10 on the leaderboard this week. It was a tricky quiz this week. So well done to all of those children who got 100%. 4 children, Sophie, Sid, Jacob and Gracie. You did really well this week, but well done to all of those who hit the top 10. Fantastic stuff. Let's start off with a quick quiz to revise last week's spellings. We were looking at mathematical vocabulary. So you've got 10 spellings there. Can you choose the correct one and underline it or circle it or practice writing it out? So pause the video and have a go. Welcome back. Okay, so the highlighted spellings are the correct ones. You can mark your own and see how many you got right. Well done, hopefully you got all of them right. Okay, now there's no point in learning how to spell a word if we don't know how to use it. So let's have a look at some definitions. Can you match last week's spelling words on the right hand side to the correct definition on the right hand side? So have a look at the different definitions. Can you match them and decide? Pause the video now and have a go. Welcome back. Okay, so we should have addition means finding the total. Subtraction is taking away a number from another. Multiplication, adding a number to itself a specified number of times. A calculation, mathematical workings out. Division, breaking a number into an equal number of parts. Parallel, matches two straight lines that are the same distance apart. Horizontal matches to a straight line going from side to side, like the horizon, if you remember last week's lesson. Vertical means a straight line in an up-down position from top to bottom, remember. Circumference is the distance around the edge of a circle. Remember, it comes from that root word circum, which sounds like circle. And the last one, diameter, matches to the length of the straight line from one side of a circle to the other, passing through the centre. Well done to everyone who sent in their results for their maths challenge that I set you last week. Okay, so let's have a look at our spelling list for this week. Our learning objective is to spell grammatical vocabulary this week. So we need to be able to read, understand and spell grammatical vocabulary for English in Year 7 and beyond. It's also really useful when you're studying other languages like Spanish or French or German. If you have a grammatical understanding of English, it will help you when you're learning other languages because you need to learn the grammar of other languages. So let's have a practice at reading and pronouncing the words on this week's spelling list. Now I have doubled up the amount of words for this week's spelling list so we can fit in all of the lists before the end of term. So you have got 20 words this week to work on. So So we have got modal, relative, pronoun, clause, parenthesis, bracket, cohesion, ambiguity, adverb, determiner, subject, object, active, passive, synonym, antonym, ellipsis, hyphen, colon, and punctuation. I'd like you to have a go at saying them out loud. Make sure you can read it and make sure you know how to say each word. You can rewind me reading them to you if you want to check any. Pause the video now and have a go. Welcome back, well done. Okay, so lots of these words are words you will be very familiar with. We've actually looked at all of these words over the past year during our work in SPAG. So we should be very familiar with what they mean, but you may have forgotten some of them. So we need to make sure that we understand what all of these words mean, and then we can talk about how to spell them. So we're going to look at 5 words at a time. So can you see I've got 5 words on the left hand side, those are your spelling words, and on the right hand side I've got 5 sentences. I'd like you to look at the definitions and see if you can work out which one matches to which spelling. Pause the video, have a think and have a go. You could write your answer down. Welcome back. Let's have a look at the answers. So number 1 was of course parenthesis. So parenthesis has the word parent in it. That's useful for helping us remember. Parenthesis is extra information added into a sentence. Remember, we use different sorts of punctuation for parenthesis, for example brackets or dashes or commas. Okay, number 2, could, might and shall are examples of modal verbs. M-O-D-A-L. Notice the A-L ending. If it was E-L, it would be modal, but it's modal verbs. Then we have number 3, which is a clause. It's a homophone. It's a different sort of meaning to an animal's clause. It is C-L-A-U-S-E. A clause is a group of words that contains a subject and a verb. Number 4 is a pronoun, takes the place of a noun. For example, I, he, or she, or it, or we, lots of different pronouns. So, pronoun, and we can see it's got the word noun within it. Okay, takes the place of a noun. Number 5, who and which are both examples of relative pronouns. Relative, spelt the same as a relative. For example, your aunt, your uncle, your grandparent would all be a relative. So, relative pronouns. Well done if you got all of those right and you checked your spellings of them. Okay, let's have a look at the next set of 5 words. Again, we've got the spelling words on the left, and then you've got 5 definitions on the right. Can you have a think and work out which word goes where? And have a go at writing them down. Okay, welcome back. So, number 1, an adverb describes a verb. Okay, describing word, an adverb. Make sure you remember it's ad, not ab, A-D, and then it has the word verb in it. Adverb describes a verb. For example, happily or joyfully. Number 2, we use conjunctions and adverbials to help create cohesion in our writing. We looked at that last week in English. So, cohesion. look at the sion ending with an S-I-O-N, cohesion, in our writing. Number 3, a type of punctuation that is always used in pairs had to be a bracket. We always see them like this. In pairs, a bracket. And it is spelt brack with a CK sound, bracket. E-T, not an I-T, bracket. Number 4, a determiner introduces a noun. Always comes before the noun, like a or an or the. Remember, we use a for words starting with a consonant sound, like a table, and an if it starts with a vowel sound, like an apple. Okay, so a determiner. Determiner. Okay, very similar to the word determined, comes from the same root word, determiner. Then we have number 5. We can use commas to clarify meaning or avoid ambiguity. It means that sort of confusion where you're not quite sure what something means. Ambiguity. So have a look at this bit here. That's the bit that's going to be tricky. We've got ambiguity. Okay, practice saying it because that will help you remember how to spell it. Well done if you got all of those right and you checked your spellings and all your spellings were right. Right, so we're now familiar with the meaning of all 10 words on the first list. I'd like you to have a look at this grid here and see if you can find the 10 correct spellings below. Look carefully because there's a few misspellings that are trying to trick you. So pause the video now and have a go at finding the correct spellings. Welcome back. So the correct ones are the circled ones. Have a look and make sure that you got them all right. If you picked any wrong spellings, think about what part of the word did you find a little bit confusing and identify what was tricky. Well done if you did get them all right. Okay, let's move on to the next 5 words then. So, same again, we've got 5 words on the left-hand side and 5 definitions on the right. Can you fit the correct grammatical word to the correct meaning? Have a go and practice writing them down. Pause the video now. Okay, welcome back. So, the first one is, of course, a synonym, a word that has a similar meaning to another word. We talk about this a lot in reading and in writing, but it's important to know how to spell it. So, a synonym. Make sure we know how to say it properly because that helps us with the syllables. Synonym. Okay, number 2. The cat is the subject in the sentence. That's this bit here. So the cat, the subject of the sentence, is doing the verb climbing. Okay, subject, 2 syllables. Number 3, we've got this sentence is written in the passive voice. We looked at this earlier in the year. Passive voice. The cat was being chased by the dog. So we can see that the cat is the subject of the sentence, but the cat is not doing the verb. Okay, the dog is doing the chasing, so the cat is passive in this sentence. The verb is being done to it. Okay, so this sentence is in the passive voice. Remember the double S there. Number 4, the tree is the object in this sentence. The cat climbed the tree. So the subject, the main thing or person the sentence is talking about, here in this active sentence is doing the verb to the object. Okay. Question 5. This sentence is written in the active voice. So an active voice sentence is where the subject, the main person or thing, the main noun that the sentence is talking about, is doing the verb itself. Okay, so it just depends which way round the sentence is written. Active, okay, 1T there, just remember that spelling. Well done if you got all of those right. There were some tricky ones in there, and well done if you checked your spellings and wrote them down correctly. And finally, the last 5 words to match to the correct definition. Make sure you read them carefully and match the correct word to the correct definition. Don't forget to practice writing them down because you'll be practicing your spellings as you do that. Pause the video now and have a go. Welcome back. Okay, number 1, I hope you've all got this one right. We have learnt about many types of punctuation in Year 6, including semicolons and dashes. Okay, but it's a tricky word to spell, so sound out the syllables as you write it. Punctuation. Okay, we've got that common suffix ending at the end, ation, but with a T before the I-O-N. Punctuation. Okay, number 2, a hyphen is a type of punctuation used to connect words. We've looked at those fairly recently. Remember, a hyphen is a type of punctuation shorter than a dash used to connect words. Okay, for example, we could have brave connected by a hyphen to hearted, brave-hearted. Okay, hyphen, the first sound is made by a PH. Okay, and it ends with an EN, a hyphen. Number 3, we've got a word that means the opposite to another word, okay, which is of course antonym, that means the opposite. Ant-o-nym, same ending as synonym, antonym. Number 4, we can show that words are missing or create a pause for effect by using an ellipsis, which is of course the 3 dots type of punctuation, an ellipsis. Okay, it's got that double L, then a single P that's hard to remember. Ellipsis. Okay, one to practice. And number 5 is of course a colon, which can be used to separate 2 closely linked clauses. We've looked at that fairly recently. Remember, a colon is 2 dots vertically like this. A colon, 1L. Well done if you got all of those right, and of course checked your spellings as you practiced writing them. Okay, so your practice activity for these 10 words is to practice them by writing them out. So I want you to read the words, then I want you to cover it, and then have a go and see if you've got it right. Cover it again. Go back to it, check it, cover it again. Sometimes you might get it wrong and need to just practice it, but by your 4th attempt you should be really certain that you were able to spell that word. That was an easy one, but some of the trickier ones you might have to practice a couple of times before you get them right. But covering and writing, checking, covering and writing and checking. So you can have a go at that and cover and write and check your spellings. Have a go. Right then, let's have a look at your chillies for this week. So your chilli 1 task is to practice the spelling words using a strategy of your choice. Rainbow writing, segmenting, pyramid writing, for example, my pronoun example. Your chilli 2 task is to do chilli 1, practice your spellings and create a word search using as many of this week's spelling words as possible. I know that there's quite a lot of words to fit in, so you might not be able to fit them all in. You will need some squared paper for this. If you haven't got any squared paper, you could spend a bit of time drawing one out with a ruler and a pencil. Don't forget, you can put your words in vertically You can put them in horizontally, like synonym, that's backwards, or you can put them in diagonally, like colon. I would put all your words in first, and then you can fill up the rest of the squares with other letters. Your Chili 3 task is to have a go at Chili 2, and then you can work out the Scrabble score for each of your spelling words like we did last week. So again, you've got each letter is worth a certain number of points shown on the Scrabble tiles, the little squares. And for example, cohesion, for each spelling word, I want you to work out the score. So cohesion, the C is equal to 3 points, the O is 1 point, the H 4 points, E, S, I, O, N are all 1 point each. Add them all together and cohesion totals to 13 points. Can you work out all of your spelling words this week? Work out their scores. Which one is the highest score? Was it the one that you predicted? As always, if you want to share your work with us, you can send it into year6@frenchprimary.worcester.sch.uk. Both of the lists we've looked at this week will be on Spelling Shed for a certain amount of time, so you can practice both of those lists on Spelling Shed. I do hope that you keep your spelling practice going over the holidays. It's like times tables. If you don't practice them for a long time, you do forget them and you do get slower with your spellings. So make sure you are practicing on Spelling Shed a little bit over the holidays. You can also have a look at this website, which is spellingframe.co.uk, which is another really good website for practicing spellings in a kind of game way. I'll show it to you now. So this is the Spelling Frame homepage. You can then scroll down to Year 5 and 6, and then you get a whole list of all of the spelling rules that we've looked at last year and this year, and you can practice any of the suffix endings, on any of the other rules that we've practiced, lots of ones on homophones, and also the word list, the Year 5 and 6 word list ones as well. So any of these, you can print off a word list, you can view the words, or you can play some games. So if you click that, without having to register for anything, you can play the spelling tiles games for free, or you can go onto the practice and test sections for free. When you click on either one, it will give you lots of options of the different sorts of games that you can play, different sorts of spelling games that will help you learn them. So do have a look at that as well. Keep up your spellings, ready for next year, because it will really help you when you go into Year 7. Good luck!